I suggest you look at the story and try and match it with the word in the story, and then read it through. And if you have difficulty reading the story through, what I thought I'd do was I'd put the story onto a tape. So you could also follow, listening to me, and follow the story through there.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay.
Notice Maureen has already begun explaining to Paul the role that context plays in our reading.
And I will get the tape and I'll read the story onto the tape.
Okay.
Note that the homework set is self-correcting. Its purpose is not to introduce new language, but to revise. As Paul's most immediate goal is to improve his reading, Maureen tends to concentrate on this. In future sessions, when writing or copying is covered, these will also be included as home exercises.
To make mud bricks, we need mulch, sand, clay and water. We mix it by hand in a barrow or in a half water tank. We dry them in the sun for about 2 or 3 weeks. I need 100 mud bricks to build a wall. How are you getting on there, Paul?
Oh, too bad, yeah. Feel better when those 100 bricks are done.
Sure you do. That's only one wall. You've still got a lot more to go.
Yeah, got a few. I'll do this one, I know this one.
That's near the beginning.
It's the B, isn't it? There we go.
Now let's take a look at question 4. What might be planned in terms of revising and extending language experience for the next session?
Is this the house finish, Paul?
As Paul has brought in photos, Maureen and Paul are again discussing mud bricks, broadening her understanding and focusing back in on the topic before recommencing reading and writing.
Demolition place. And bought them, loaded up the ute with them and dragged them home.
What's in the wall here, Paul?
Some bottles.
Right.
Some bottles. Adds a bit of light and, well, I think it looks really good. Shows off the mud bricks.
What sort of bottles do you use?
Oh, beer bottles. It gets hot making those bricks.
About whiskey or something like that?
Oh, well, there's a couple in there, but we needn't mention those.
You're a beer man, aren't you? And is this a paved area out the front here?
Out the front,
veranda?
yes. Big veranda to keep the water off the bricks because they're good when they're dry, but any water with them, well, they'll just fall apart.
Right. They're good, Paul. Perhaps we could put them in an album sometime. Do you think we could write about them? Do you like that idea?
Yes, I'd like to.
You'd like
Be
to?
good.
Good. Well, now we'll look at the words we got in the alphabet box. What was the colour of the words we used for the story last week?
White. White for the mud bricks.
Do you think you could read some of those words?
Give it a go.
Did you have practice during the week?
Oh,
Have a look at them?
Oh, yes. How'd it go? Well, we start on them.
We'll start at the beginning.
Okay, the A's. All right. And.
That's right.
And.
For organisational purposes, the tutor has colour-coded the word cards. That is, the last language experience words were yellow.
Boy.
This time they are white. The student and tutor then know which words are associated with which language experience story.
Right. Clay.
Good.
Clay.
Yes.
Right.
this
No,
level.
yes.
That is a bit difficult.
Mm,
We'll leave that one for the moment. All right?
okay.
As the student is reading these words out of context, it has become more difficult.
It and in.
That's right.
Okay.
here.
Lots of M's. Mix.
Yes.
Mix.
Yes. Do you recognise the X on the end?
Yes. Mix.
Right.
One. So that one. And make.
Yes.
Make the bricks. But what we do with that one? No.
It's a bit longer, that one.
Yeah, it's a big one. One
Leave
big
that one. Come back to that.
Okay, and mud bricks.
Fine.
That's what we're making.
Well, let's see if we can work out what these are from the story.
Okay.
I typed up the story.
Mm.
Now, if we read this through, we may be able to work out what these words are.
All right.
All right?
Fit them in there.
All right.
Okay.
Do you want to read it with me, or do you want to have a go on your own?
Read it with you.
All right.
Okay.
To
make
mud
bricks.
you need sand,
Mulch.
Mulch.
Right.
clay, and
An excellent way of retaining your students' work and of developing pride in their writing is to have it published.
by.
This may mean having it typed up for your session work or simply for them to take and share it with their family.
Barrow.
Over a period of time, Maureen and Paul have built up several passages. Most of these have been typed and recorded in his book.
Well, shall we read on and see if we know what this is?
Water tank. Half.
Good. That's it.
Water tank.
It's easier when you are looking at the
Yes.
story, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we could make a title for this story. I think that would just finish it off. What do you think we could call it?
Making mud bricks.
It sounds
What we're
fine.
doing?
It
Yeah.
sounds really good.
Okay.
Could you try and write the title on a piece of paper here?
Making. As long as I can look here.
Yes,
and
you look
there.
here.
Okay.
You can find the words in here.
Mm.
Making
Mud bricks. Making. Making.
Try that.
Making
That's right.
mud.
All right.
Bricks.
During each session, the tutor may notice aspects of reading and writing that require assistance. It can help the tutor in planning and remembering if these are noted as an aside to be considered later, rather than trying to deal with them immediately.
Story. Would you like to do that? Would you like to be able to spell some of the words, Paul, in this story?
Yes, that'd be good.
Well, which ones do you think you'd like to start with?
With bricks. Because I'm making lots of bricks.
I'll write them down, the ones you think that we'll start
Okay.
with.
For a more confident writer, the tutor could read some of the passage to the student and the student could write it down.
All the gear.
Together, they could look at the passage written and choose some incorrectly spelt words to work on.
Sand.
Sand,
And clay.
clay,
Mulch.
yes.
And water.
Well, I think we'll start with sand and clay,
Mm.
and then we'll go on to the others.
Okay.
Shall we have a break first? Have a cup of coffee?
Sounds good. Okay.
Before Maureen proceeds with the word study, let's consider question 5. From bricks, sand, mulch and clay, Maureen has chosen to look at sand and clay first. How might they be developed? Feel free to stop the tape once again before discussion.
Let's have a look at sand first, Paul. Now, can you see another word in there? If I cover up that...
And.
That's right, you know that one.
Sand.
Now, if I write and here, and I put a different letter at the front of that, what does that word say?
Hand.
That's fine.
Oh.
Can you put that into a sentence, Paul?
Hand. I make my mud bricks by hand.
That's right, that's
Yeah.
fine. Let's try that again.
With a more advanced student, these words could be put into sentences as a written exercise rather than an oral one.
What does that one say?
Land.
Good.
Oh.
Can you put that one into a sentence?
On this occasion, Maureen has chosen word families or groups of rhyming and similarly spelt words to approach the spelling of these words.
I got the mud from my land.
That's right.
Yeah?
That's fine.
Right.
Yes. We could put these words into your dictionary in the part that is for word families. They all belong to the same family: sand, hand, and land. So we'll put them in your dictionary in this part with the word families. You see we've got in words
right.
that we did before. So would you be able to copy sand, hand, and land? At the top, I'll put A and D as the part of the word that is common to all of them. And can you write those words in?
Right.
Students regularly use index books as a personal spelling dictionary, where individual and groups of personally relevant spelling words are recorded. This also helps Paul realise that not all words he can read need to be spelt at this stage.
Land.
Right. We might come up with some more words that we can put in there as we work, and we'll try and remember and put them into there. Now on this letter slide, this is called a letter slide, I have put, that says A, all right? So let's have a look at this other word that you wanted to spell. You wanted to learn how to spell clay.
Clay.
Now it ends with A,
Y.
and it says clay. Can you think of any other words that end with a sound like A? Something that would rhyme with clay.
Day.
Fine.
Clay day.
Day. I'll put that here. Right. Day.
Day.
Any other words that rhyme with clay?
May. May.
Yes. Can we think of one more? Where is your land, Paul? It's near the...
In the bay.
That's right. Yes. Bay.
Hey.
Now we can put these words into the book as a word family. Bay.
Bay.
What's this one?
Day. May.
Right. I'll put the AY